Have you ever wondered how much money do you need if you want to stop working today? That's what you will find out in today's video. So let's get started. Step number 1. Calculate your monthly expenses. You probably already have a rough estimation in your mind considering house costs, transportation, groceries, clothes, and so on. You need to consider all of it. But what you are probably not considering are unexpected costs, like a car repair, a broken fridge, or a new car. You should go in detail to understand what extra expenses you might have and add them to your list. For simplification, let's add 50%. Depending on where you live and your lifestyle, your monthly expenses may be lower or higher. For this example, let's consider a total of $6,000. Step number 2. Investigate which assets you can buy to get a stable income every month. Now that we know how much are our monthly expenses, the plan is to buy assets that will provide us income every month to pay for those expenses. The two most common sources of income are real estate properties and stocks. Real estate investment is when you buy a house or land and rent it to someone. The returns are usually between 2 to 15% a year, depending on where you live and if you find a good deal. As an example, if you bought a house for $100,000 and you rent it with 8% return, you will earn $8,000 of income per year and around $670 every month. This is already considering all the costs you will have with your property. Other option is high dividend stocks. When you own stocks, you own a piece of a company, and when that company pays dividends, you receive a part too. There are companies that pay more dividends than others, so instead of buying stocks from only one company, you can buy from a group of those high dividend companies. We call a group of companies an index fund. The dividend returns are not so regular as real estate and can vary a little bit from year to year, but you may expect an average return from 2 to 4% a year. So if you invest $100,000 with a 3% return, you will make $3,000 a year and around $250 a month. For this example, let's consider we want to invest mainly in real estate because of the 8% return, but also a little bit in high dividend stocks with a 3% return. That could mean a monthly return of around $50 to $100 from renting and $800 from dividends. But because there is unpredictability, some months you may not have anyone renting your houses, some companies may be paying a little less, and so on. So let's be safe and add a 20% safety margin. Rounding up, we will have around $7,000 from real estate and $1,000 from dividends. This way we can pay all our expenses only with the real estate and we can invest and save with the remaining. Doing some quick math, we need to invest $1,050,000 in real estate and $400,000 in dividend stocks. So, for a monthly expense of $6,000 and returns of 8% and 3%, we would need to invest a total of $1,450,000, almost 1.5 million. Were you expecting this number? Of course, if your expenses are higher and your average returns from real estate and stocks are lower, you will need much more money. But if your expenses are lower, you will need much less money. You may also decide to invest only in real estate, maximizing the returns. But personally, I like to diversify a little bit. Quick recap of your homework so you can calculate for yourself. First, calculate your costs, having in mind unpredictability. Then investigate in your area what is the average return on real estate and search for high dividend stocks and index funds that you like in case you want to diversify. And finally, calculate how much money do you need today to cover all your needs and add an extra 20% for safety. Imagine a life where you don't need to work and have all your expenses being paid. This is the dream for so many people, but it doesn't mean you don't want to work. It just gives you flexibility to work on where you want. Now you ask, what if I don't want to retire today, but I want to get an extra income every month? Where should I invest the spare money that I have? Ideally, the best place to invest for passive income is real estate, but it usually requires some high sums of money. You may decide to save for a small house and grow from there, but there are other alternatives in the meantime. You can choose the high dividend stocks we talked about before that will provide a good return every month. Here are some examples you can look for. But my preferable choice is to invest in the S&P 500. If you don't know, the S&P 500 is an index fund. By buying a stock from there, you are buying a little bit of each of the 500 best companies in the American market. What I like in the S&P 500 is that it has an average growth rate of around 10% a year, meaning if you put 10k there today, the expectation would be it will be worth 11k next year and 26k in 10 years. Of course, the growth is not regular, so you may even lose in the first year, but with time, history says your money will grow an average of 10% besides your dividend payment every 3 months. The strategy that I most like is to invest the same amount every month, called dollar cost average. This way I don't really care if the price of the stock is high or low, I just buy a little bit each time. Because I believe with time it will be higher and higher until I have enough money to sell and buy a house instead. If your dream is to one day not having to work, my advice is to write down your goals, make a realistic plan and execute it until you have achieved it. And it all starts by saving every month, investing frequently and subscribing for good luck. Thank you for watching, see you on the next video.